Yeah. Hey, I've been sandwiched faka. Acha kaza niekele tu simu hapa. Hi guys, happy new month. It's the month of November and I'm super excited. Like I've been excited the whole morning. It rained in Kajiado. Somehow kidogo tu.
Haitaki waweza kukubalisha kuwa excited.
Guy. Hawezi niambia hivyo. How are you guys? How are you? We have new faces. In the morning we had one Madam Zippy and today we have another one. Hey, it's a new month. Today starting a new month with a new style. We had one Madam Zippy and today is it? Oh, yeah, sorry. You're confusing me. Thank you for joining us in the evening farm drive. This is your one and only Jackie Moore. Asanteni sana for being with us, for your continued support. Let me give this guy over here on my right side a chance to introduce himself. Kwa sababu tumeingia tu na vitu nyingi zenye. How are you?
Okay, I'm very fine.
Murife.
No, that guy told me.
Yeah,
he's really trying. No. Not to get into that. Anyway, I'm Kama Mwangi and I'm happy to be here. Yeah, someone told us yesterday somewhere that you should say you're happy to be somewhere. So I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
My name is Kama Kawaida Noah, host breakfast show. I'm happy to be here. Glad to be here. Glad to be you watching us. Very hot topic we're discussing today. Yes.
It rained, Kajiado, finally. Some little rain, though it rained. There's someone who had told us last week, Tuesday, lazima kutanyesha. Sijui kama ni weather forecaster, ama kuna venye anatumia some stuff.
At this rate, you just have to accept whatever comes. Mm-hmm. If you're told it's going to rain and it rains, sour. If you're told it won't rain, pia ni sour.
But ilifanya ni kama inanyesha, alafu...
Is it so obvious?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's, you see, the wind is blowing away, yeah? Uh-huh. So it means that it should... But you see, the time it rains, it normally it's been very hot and then it's cloudy all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. The most you can get is that, that wind that goes round.
Yeah.
And then now it rains.
Okay. I guess we have a new member in the, what do we call it?
These guys are too funny for life.
Meteorological department.
Let's begin this show, and we want to talk about stories to do with the rainfed agriculture and the transformation of agriculture. Most of the farmers used to depend on rain, and now the climate has refused to collaborate with the farmers. So what are the measures? Noah, you have been a farmer for 15 years. Yep. Tell us the transformation. How did you start? Did you used to wait for the rains to do your agriculture? And right now, how are you coping with the changes in climate?
One of the challenges that I see farmers, especially in rain-fed areas, is that you're waiting for something you don't know. Long time, we used to be, if it is April, you're on holidays, then it's raining. It was standard, because that's the time now you used to go back home, probably mnapanda, mnarudishwa Nairobi. Ilikuwa story. People from where I come from, tukifunga shule, tulienda Western, tunabeba sofa, nini.
Mbukinya.
Tunarudi nazo, but that was the norm. The weather was planned. But now it is not happening. One thing is because, as we had a discussion with Daniel yesterday, the weather has changed. And it didn't change yesterday. It started changing way back because of, we've talked a lot about deforestation. Mm-hmm. We are talking about urbanization. We're talking about real estate kama wagerani. Nasikia wanakata kahawa wanajenga nyumba. So all that is affecting, but nobody has seen that. So people have seen that there's an improvement in real estate, but they're not seeing that is actually affecting our ecosystem. Our water areas are actually being affected, and that is now a dangerous thing that we are doing. And it is affecting farmers, but not only farmers. It's also affecting those of us who want food to eat, because now food becomes expensive. Yes.
You're the youngest kid on the block. What do you understand by rain-fed agriculture and the transformation, being someone who's coming from Murang'a? You've told us you've never missed water. Like, water keeps flowing, so you don't even understand when you hear there's no water in rivers. What do you understand by rain-fed agriculture, and should there be transformation?
Okay, what I really understand by that is that there are people who generally depend on rain. Like, there's no rain, there's nothing on the farm, so people are just relaxing. And I just try to ask myself, as Noah said, there's that change on like people from my end, because we are used to water, yes. So we don't feel that big effect on cutting the trees. We are not like that much affected, I would say. So I like try to ask myself what might be the measures that we can put in place to make sure that we exactly don't go through the same.
But let me ask you, you guys don't feel guilty cutting trees?
No, not as okay, not at all.
As we are talking about this guys
you see, our rivers are ever running. Yeah. So the only difference that we experience at some point is that the water is kind of low. But there are other times
booster pump.
Yeah.
But is it, you see, like where I come from, the moment you have, in fact, you rarely get an axe in even hardwares, because they know an axe is equivalent to trees being cut.
but from where I come from, we are used to, like, trees are the source of firewood. They don't believe in gas things, and also trees are also market for charcoal.
This microphone now. Are you in Kenya? Ako Kenya, which country are you coming from? No, but
you know that is something that, again, it is an education thing that has not been passed on right. No. Because we've been told don't cut trees. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing. We've not been told why not cut trees. You get, and that's why you hear statements from our politicians about Shamba system. Yeah. We are hearing about the Mau, people fighting about Mau. You know, the only thing that these guys have made it so clear, you know, in Murang'a roads are not very wide. to protect water bounds.
Disclaimer.
No, it's true.
It did not come from a farmer's media. That was Noah's comment.
The roads are not very wide, so that they protect the water bodies. You know, you have to protect Nakaini.
But let me ask you.
Yes.
People usually run at, let's say, FCG, Ribandakaine, CG.
Yes.
What happens to the money that is raised? Or why do people even run?
No. They don't raise money to save it. It's normally like clean up and all that. Celebrating what has been done. And it's really huge. By the way, Nakaine is very, very big. And if you look at it very critically, it is something that should be done across the world. Areas where the water bodies, sources of water, or forests are actually there, we should celebrate what needs to be done. You know, and it's not that there is no land. Land is available everywhere to be able to plant crops and all that. What we don't have is the education bit of, yes, you can cut down a 10-year-old tree, but can you plant 10 more trees? You get? And then which trees are you planting? You know, you're planting trees. I love the cooler
Yeah, so that's the discussion we want to have and understand. Is it about time that our farmers transformed from rain-fed agriculture? Because here we are in Kajiado, there's no water. Most of the farmers are quitting farming because water is expensive. Like Noah usually says, you cannot practice agriculture without water. You're buying water. You remember the guy you interviewed, and he was like, he started his farming and he used to buy water. So you can imagine, if you even have, let's say, an acre of land, how much water will you require for your crops?
Actually, with the weather with the kind of weather we've had, you need to pay, you know, pay minimum landlord or maji. Yeah. So what it is that somebody pays close to between 15 and 20,000 shillings per month on water per acre. So if you're growing onions, you need to make sure you have around 50,000 shillings just for water. Check out. For the season, for 3 months.
For 3 months.
Yes, because you need around between. That is
the
water
inputs
only.
and
Yes.
wow, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Wow. But then is it about time? And what's the difference between rain-fed and irrigation? Because in my understanding, where does this water for irrigation come from? It still comes from rain, right?
Yes and no. Cut.
Okay. Okay. Actually, there's not much. But I also think that rain that still comes from that still comes from rain.
What do you mean by saying there's no difference? I want to understand that.
No, she has there's a difference.
Yes.
Between the two, but okay, I feel there's a difference,
But not so much.
but not so much. But remember, you have natural sources like that one, that water that comes from the rocks. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
But you see, there's a difference here. You're talking about sources of water.
Who was your geography teacher? Who was your geography teacher? We are talking
So
of.
let me ask, what is the question?
What's the difference between rain-fed agriculture and irrigated agriculture, and where does the water from the irrigated agriculture come from? Doesn't it come from rain?
It comes from the rain.
That is very. There is rain. What do you say? Rain. Rain-fed agriculture and irrigated. Rain is on a literal meaning. It's rain. It's raining on those. Yeah, mvua raining on those crops that are in the farm. Irrigated, it's whereby you have your what do we call them? Like the man-made methods.
Wells.
No, not wells. Like this man-made method of make sure that plant gets water. You see, the rain one is natural.
Yes.
But this irrigated one, I'm trying to give you a literal meaning. So, but this irrigated one, it's upon the farmer to know how the water will get to the plants. So I kind of feel that makes part of the difference.
Yeah, I agree, but I think when it comes to now production of crops, there's a very big distinction between rain-fed agriculture and irrigated agriculture. Rain-fed agriculture is when you rely on the rain seasons and rain patterns to grow your crops. Irrigation is when you can farm at any given time, because either, as you said, man-made sources, it could be sinking a borehole, it could be drilling a borehole or a small shallow well, or it could be pumping water from the river. Okay, so when you pump water from the river, it is no longer a rain-fed farming, even if the source of water is rain. The other thing is, and it has its advantages and disadvantages.
But even when I was doing the research and I was asking, is rain-fed agriculture climate smart? Someone told me it's not climate smart, but the irrigation one is climate smart. But I've also talked to some few people, and most of the environmentalists are like, irrigation is not the way to go because it's a way of it has negative impacts
irrigation
on climate.
Or rain-fed farming.
Irrigation, because with irrigation it's like conservation agriculture. You have to preserve the water, conserve the water. How you get the water sources is also a way of, it brings a negative impact on the climate and also on the environment. Do you think it's climate smart?
Well, again, you have to look at it very critically, and some of these things that are stated have to be also be stated with facts, because everything is poisonous and everything is useful. So if you look at it very critically, what is climate smart agriculture is we want to produce food to feed people. If you say that irrigation is a challenge, that it affects climate smart agriculture negatively, then you have to remove agriculture from that word.
Mhm.
Because definitely,
It does not impact negatively. It does not cause a negative impact on agriculture, but it causes a negative impact on the environment and the climate.
how?
When you sink that borehole, what machinery do you use?
Yes.
There's the issue of greenhouse gas emissions. There's the issue of land degradation. Like,
How?
we have the videos of people drilling boreholes and dams in some places. I'm just imagining that hole.
Jackie,
That
wait,
hole,
wait.
the way you're digging
Don't
it
push
and-
it. Don't, why are you not answering my question? Why are you not answering my question?
No, it's spinning me down.
no,
I'll be
you.
coming back to answer that question.
No.
I'm trying to get a hold of one of our guests who will be joining us to join us in this
Wait, no,
discussion
answer
and
my
tell us.
question.
I will
You're not
answer.
answering my question.
My guest has just joined. I need to welcome my guest. So kindly be patient. I'll answer how it causes the negative
For the
impact.
guests to join, I think it's important for people to ask us. We need to ask ourselves, what is climate smart agriculture as compared to whatever we're talking about? Because can I surprise you that even cows grazing on a farm is negative to the environment?
That's true.
So do we stop grazing?
Somehow.
And
We
then
need to find other ways, because at the end of the day, these are what is.
So for me-
all these
for
things
me-
are what
for-
are causing
for-
climate change right now, and
No, I
people
think-
are complaining that it's too hot because.
but you see, there are other things that can be done to that. Yes, they affect climate, the environment. But the other things that can be done, and these ones are not so many. It's like, for example, if you say that going to town is dangerous for your children.
But I think the question
That
we
you
should be asking ourselves is, what is the main goal? And the kind of goal you're setting, to what percentage is the advantage and the disadvantage?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the disadvantages,
You guys are for-
Rekegwere, something, yeah.
Eh.
Let me tell you.
Eh.
You might also like a guy,
Uh-huh.
but pia kuna weakness zake. Lakini uzuri wake umesupersede hiyo nini. So unapiga unaweka kwa waratili. Unaweka waratili hapa ni karibu sana msasa.
Kwa mizani.
Mizani. Unaweka kwa mizani, unaona uzuri iko juu kidogo. Unasema twende. Kaenda.
Lakini sasa
But now you see, there's this aspect. What we need to do is that we should stop looking at specific things and saying they are bad, and now build solutions. For example, what are the pillars of climate smart agriculture? Help farmers build resilience to adapt to climate change, meaning things like irrigation. But now, not just irrigation. It has to be irrigation that is controlled. For example, you are not supposed to drill a borehole within a kilometer radius. So we need to make sure that those organizations that are supposed to prevent people from drilling boreholes ovyo are actually effecting that. Alternatively, to say within a certain area we will have what? The government land irrigation. Borehole could drill there and then they supply water. But why should we supply water that way? We are seeing electricity being supplied all over the country. We have sources of water. How can we not pipe water all over the country?
But why should you drill a borehole instead of harvesting the rainwater that God is giving us freely?
But my question is, you harvested that water. How long is it going to last? That should be the question you should be asking.
It can last longer if we take care of our environment. But by drilling boreholes, digging dams, this is the research I did.
Let's start first of
This
all
is the
by
research I
planting
did.
trees.
This is the research
Let's start
I
first
did.
of all by planting trees. Jackie, how many trees have you ever planted?
I've planted so many trees.
How many trees?
I've planted
In your
trees.
30, you said you're 42.
Guys, my guest has joined. My guest is still joining ako kwa njia.
So if you ask
I'm not
yourself,
42.
for the number of years you've existed, how many trees have you ever planted?
I've planted a couple. I think around 5 to 7.
I've planted more than 500 trees. Yes.
Where?
Yes. There's even a campaign that we ran in 2018, 2019 of planting 100 million trees.
Okay.
Yes. You see, this is the thing. It's like saying, mtoto amepata homa, and then you blame something. and say madawa ni mbaya, did we prevent it? What are so now that we are realized, what can we do to prevent the next occurrence? And sometimes the next occurrence is just like medicine. You have to now infect a body with that virus and then see how to fight it. So climate smart agriculture is first of all the pillars, as I was mentioning. Again, the climate change. So how many farmers, Jackie, have you talked to who know how climate change is affecting their crops?
Not many.
Very few. Yes, because now you can imagine, we have the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have zero hunger, and then we have climate change. Zero hunger is number 2, climate change is number 13. It is just this year that we've actually seen the reality of climate changing, and that climate change, in fact, very few people realize that it is climate change. People thought we don't have food because of the Russia and Ukraine war.
People like they know here, they have no idea. They only landed in Kajiado and they were like, aya.
Then the other one is sustainable increase in agricultural production and incomes. So I hear the guest is on.
I'm not sure if you can hear us. Samuel, can you hear us? Hi, Samuel. Yeah, we're still trying to connect with Samuel. I think there is an issue with sound.
Yes, and then the other one is reducing greenhouse gases where possible. And I love the way they put it there.
Why? Because the greenhouse gases is the big elephant in the room, and it's the biggest thing that is causing climate change and bringing the negative effects.
So, Jackie, greenhouse gases is caused by very many things. For example, a car that you start and you go, that matatu that you go in, that taxi that you go in, all that is even what is it called? Manufacturing of even what is it called? Kuosha mafuta. From I don't know. Anyway, from what is the oil called? Anyway, the guest is on.
Samuel, hi, can you hear us? He's still trying. You know, this technology matters. Is this part of also greenhouse emissions?
Yeah, some of the technology that is being used, yes.
So you're telling us about
extraction of oil from the different parts of oil, from crude oil all the way to gas. That in itself is already affecting greenhouse gases. But 70% of agricultural activities contributes to the carbon emission in the environment. Yeah. And that means that those are basic things. But those are things that, again, the world has changed. I think, Samuel, I don't know if you can hear us.
Samuel, can you hear us? We're still trying to connect. Hi, Samuel, can you hear us? He can't hear us, so we'll try continue trying to connect with him and get sound.
So again, when we look at it very critically, we have to make sure that that we are avoiding scaring farmers about what they're doing. So there's no need of talking about climate smart agriculture, and then we are scaring them, telling them, you don't drill boreholes. We have to ask ourselves, what can we do while drilling boreholes? For example, a good example is, and again, for me, I say it is misinformation. We are packaging this information. At the same time, we are misinforming those who need this information. For example, how many companies are for conservation agriculture? Very few. How many companies are pro fertilizer application? Nearly all. So where do we draw the line between a tractor on the farm and manure application versus fertilizer application? So we have to make sure that we are disseminating the right information, and that is why, again, the role of media comes in place, because we have to make sure that we are informing farmers the right thing. Very few farmers, we are going to COP27 in the next few weeks, but very few farmers see how COP27 is related to zero hunger. In fact, very few farmers understand what zero hunger is.
Do you know what zero hunger is? I'm coming back to challenge you on the issue of growing trees, the issue of all the fertilizer application, because me, totally against irrigation, and I'm for rain-fed agriculture. The thing is, people just need to devise new mechanisms of harvesting water.
Bringing rain.
You cannot bring rain. You cannot bring
Jackie,
rain. You
Jackie,
need to
the moment
you
you
need
harvest,
to
it
practice.
is irrigation.
No, we don't want irrigation. Stop the drip lines. Stop the borehole drilling. Stop the dams. You can do better than all those things. Me, I'm for rain-fed.
So are you trying to say that if there is no rain, we don't farm? Because if you are
Jackie,
if you are against irrigated,
Jackie, you're saying you just leave the house without makeup.
Am I wearing makeup? No, but I'm okay. Yes.
Oh my God.
The thing is, if we do practices that are not harming the environment, the rain will start falling as it used to.
Let me cut you
listen
short.
to Sam. I think Sam is in a place because there's some fire. There's an extinguisher. I'm going to be a solar.
Oh my God. Sam, can you hear us?
Hello, Giacomo.
Sam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Wow, we've been trying to reach you since 3. Thank you so much for making time to join us. You can see you're at your farm in a greenhouse.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and are you for rain-fed agriculture or irrigation?
Okay, thank you very much, Giacomo, for the host. My name is Samuel Mwangi, an agronomist by profession, and as you can see, I'm in my offices, in one of my offices, and being an agronomist, I am an expert in drip irrigation installation, greenhouse construction, and actually I'm in one of my clients' greenhouse, and we had some few things we are doing here. So that's why you got me in my offices. And for me, Giacomo, I think I'm in for the irrigation. Yes.
Okay, so the men have ganged up against me. I need women to come and help me convince these men. Why are you for irrigation? Like, this is just impacting negatively on our environment. And right now we are talking about the effects of climate change. Why are you for irrigation?
The reason I'm for irrigation is because, like you've said, you've talked about the current situation in the climate change. That one has really showed us that there's no way that we shall be able to rely on rain-fed agriculture. Because if you look at right now, we have a very big issue on food shortages. And one of the causes of the food shortages is actually because of so many farmers are actually depending on rain-fed crops, which has been one of the causes of the current situation in food shortages in Kenya. So definitely I cannot rely on, we cannot say that we are in farming if we are relying on rain-fed growing of crops.
Okay, all of you are just for looking for short-term solutions because, fine, the rain is not coming anytime soon. And the water that you guys are relying on and thinking that you have, I'm posing a question to all of you, by the way. I stand to be corrected. That water is one day going to finish. And then what will happen next? Where will you get water? There won't be no more rain. Because you are destroying the climate and the environment.
Jackie, don't. Please, Jackie.
I think before you come in, one thing that is happening currently, we have no rains, and you're talking of there is no water for irrigation, and you are for you are for rains. No, you are for rains.
I'm for rain, and I'm saying
Uh-huh.
people need to start doing better practices, farming practices that are legit, that will not destroy the environment.
Like what?
Okay, yeah, exactly. Like what?
Give her the mic.
Relying No, I'll just use one. I'll just use one. Better practices is minimum tillage on our farms. Even the animals, the kinds of feeds that you make, the way we preserve even the manure, we don't need to drill boreholes. Like you can harvest the rainwater. There is rain that is currently being experienced in some parts of the country. Why can't we devise mechanisms of preserving this water, like building dams, man-made dams, and preserving this water? All this rain that falls drains to the Indian Ocean. Why can't we have ways of preserving this water instead of going to dig and dig and dig and drill and destroy the environment?
But you see, Jackie, the moment you store that water, that transforms to irrigation.
But remember, Jackie,
Yes.
listen to me.
The environment, you've not touched anything, you've not emission
Jack,
any gas.
Let us ask Sam. When we
Yes.
what is the best way of producing more food?
What is the best way of?
Getting higher production of food? Is it rain-fed farming or is it irrigation farming?
Right. I think I don't know why Jackie is kind of contradicting herself, because she has just said that we don't expect rain anytime soon, and right now she's talking about rain. So now,
Don't fear, Sam. Speak with all boldness.
so now
But it's raining.
it's not everywhere is raining. So actually, we cannot. Let me first answer Mr. Nasiari's question. One of the best way of that we can have water, enough water for irrigation, just like we said and Jackie has said, we cannot rely on rainfall. Right now, yes, it's raining, but some part of Kenya is raining, but not everywhere. Like where I am, actually, we have had very little rain right now. Very little. You cannot link that you can say that you can do any substantial farming. So one of the ways that we can have enough water for irrigation or for growing crops is by making like those boreholes. Those boreholes will supply you water for quite a longer time compared now to the current situation of rain that is missing in our country. So there's no way we can, Jackie, there's no way we can so much rely on the rain-fed crop or production of crop or through the rain-fed, because rain is nowhere to be found. There is no rain unless you justify yourself otherwise. I will not agree with you with that.
Let me ask you, Sam. Where does this water that is in boreholes and in the dams come from? Isn't it from the rains that used to rain a long time ago that it's on the ground?
So it was stored there. Jackie, you went to school, man.
No,
You see now,
I need to be answered. We need to understand where does this water come from?
I think Sam, we
Where
need
does
to take Jackie for a geological survey.
Sure.
Not
I support
Get
that.
to understand.
there are so many
how deep
Jackies.
the-
There are so many Jackies out there who don't understand, because me myself, I know all this water. It's still rainwater that
But let me
has
ask you,
been.
Jackie, how come we have oceans, Indian Ocean, but the food cannot be produced from there? How come Mombasa has the whole ocean?
Because all of the people who live around the rivers and the oceans are polluting the ecosystem, and that's why most of the water is draining away. Look at Lake Victoria.
I almost told our producer to cut because Jackie.
No,
Basically, what we're trying to say is this: for us to be able to get more yield, to get better yields to feed the world. Remember, we're not talking about feeding Kenya only, because currently a lot of produce is coming from neighboring countries. And you can find that Uganda is a landlocked country, true, but they're giving us more food. So what is happening is this: our soils, we should talk about other things and not just irrigation. By the way, rain causes more harm than irrigation, because there are floods, there is soil erosion because of water.
isn't soil erosion.
Water.
No.
Yes, floods.
It's human practices, deforestation.
What do floods do?
No, it's
And
deforestation.
that's what I'm saying. We should stop
It's the human practices that people are doing that are harming the environment that is causing all these problems. If we start practicing,
you've not even told Sam to introduce himself and tell us what he does.
oh, when I start getting the point, you okay? Sorry, Samuel, we brought you into the show and with the heated debate. Probably introduce yourself to our audience and for our audience to know you, what exactly you do and the kind of farming you practice.
Well, thank you very much, Jackie, for this opportunity. My name is Samuel Mwangi, an agronomist by profession. I own an online company called Samtech Agribusiness Solutions. And at Samtech Agribusiness Solutions, we are a farming company that interact with farmers, different solutions to agriculture. And one of the solutions we talk about is just like the one we are discussing today, because we are doing drip irrigation installation. That is one of our solutions that we are offering to this issue of you are talking about the Rainfed. So that means that in our own understanding that the kind of agriculture that we are bringing is the agriculture that does not depend on lane for it to happen. So we are also doing greenhouse construction and also the management that is on their agronomy part. And we work as a team. So we have different team deployed to different parts of the country depending on the situation. Like we have people going for greenhouse management, other going for open field on different crops. So that is what we generally do. Yes.
So we've been listening to that, and now we have to ask some questions that are climate smart questions.
Yes.
Sam, let me ask you, how many farmers have adopted to climate related way of growing crops? Because I think we have been doing things for the long haul. I've seen quite what the kind of work you've been doing, and I'm sure you've seen what we are doing. How many farmers are adopting to, in terms of profit, positively to the climate change?
Let me say from our end is that slowly by slowly farmers are coming to adopt this kind of measures on climate smart, because actually climate smart is actually whatever we are doing is climate smart, because it is a situation where we are producing even without the availability of rain. So let me say farmers have been adopting the idea, because, and why are they adopting?
Wait there. You are producing even without
the availability of rainfall.
Exactly. So that is climate smart on its own, Jackie. So what it means is that the water has, what we are focusing on, you can imagine, imagine as a parent, nisiseme tu father, unajua siku hizi wote nasikia tunafanya kazi. As a parent, if you can actually produce or provide, you can provide for your family without a job. It is the same way being able to produce food without the presence of rain.
Not possible. There is a video.
Let me support you, Nasia.
This is my show.
Endelea Sam.
No. You guys are misleading. You're misleading our farmers, and you need to give them the correct information. When you the term climate smart, it means it needs to be something that is good for the climate. Like you're working as a smart person. There's a video, we were at some place in Mashuru where there's water from Kilimanjaro that has been directed, and the farmers are practicing very good agricultural practices. Let people see, then probably you'll get to understand what I mean and where I'm coming from. Why we don't need to build dams. We can still, this water is a belt. It runs from all the way from Kilimanjaro. Is it Muranga? To Kibwezi, yes. And you can imagine, it just comes, it flows naturally, and it's just been directed. Just take a look.
tu hapo tunafungulianga maji. So hapo tuelezeni nini inafanyika, mnafungulianga aje maji, inachukua muda gani, kiasi gani?
Maji tunaitumia wengi, na kuna wakati hiyo maji, hii shamba za pandezi zikihitaji maji wanakuja wanafungulia maji kwa muda tu shamba zao mpaka wamalize kunyesha, kisha after hiyo wanairudisha tena kwa mtaro main. Hiyo ndio main inapelekea wengine huko, kisha wengine wanaeka kwa maji yao, kisha inaenda kupea wale wengine wako huko mbali maji.
Hivyo mwenye anafungulia ni wenye irrigation?
Wenye irrigation ndio.
Hivyo ni serikali? Ni
serikali. Inakuja inatuma watu wao. Kila shamba ziko na watu wao wasimamizi wenye wanasimamia hizo shamba. Sasa wao ndio ukihitaji maji wao ndio wanaenda wanaongea na serikali huko. Gate inakuja inafunguliwa kama ni ya maji, inanyesha kama ni masaa 4, masaa 5. Kisha shamba zikijaa maji inarudishwa tena kwa main.
Wakulima wameona ni benefits gani wanapata kutoka kwa huu mtaro?
Maji inasaidia sana kunyesha. Inatumika kwa dawa pia, wanafungulia.
So nilikuwa napenda ungefanya hivi. Nataka uweke hiyo kijibu, uweke hiyo swali kwa hiyo jibu. Yaani unasema sasa unasema so uzuri mtaro vile imesaidia wakulima. Mimi kama mmoja wa wakulima ni hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi.
Unapata maji kwa mfululizo, sasa wakati wa kiangazi hakukosi maji kwa vile wamekuwekea maji.
Tuanza sisi kama wakulima mtaro imetusaidia hivi.
Sisi kama wakulima wa hii area Sineti, mtaro inatusaidia kwa njia mingi. Tunaitumia kuitumia kwa dawa, kunyesha begu, singine kunyesha maji. Hiyo ndio faida inatupea.
Kuna ujumbe wote kwa serikali mngependa wasaidie kivipi?
Ujumbe wetu kwa serikali
na video maana
kuna mambo ya mbolea, watu angalie sana kwa mbolea. Mbolea imekuwa juu sana, na pia hii mtaro inafaa kurekebishwa. Kuna mahali imecrack sana, maji inaenda mingi nje. Watu tuangalie sana.
Tumeshukuru sana. Tuambie majina yako tu ndio.
Majina yangu mimi ni Mkamba, mimi ni Mkenya. Majina yangu naitwa Hanod Muthama Makao.
Tumeshukuru.
Arudia jina, so umwangalie useme what
sema wewe ni Mkamba.
Useme ni Mkamba, sema tu useme ni Mkamba, sema tu jina langu ni baba na mimi ni mkulima hapa Iseneti. Hivyo tu muangalie ukisema.
Kwa majina unaitwa nani?
Yeah, so that's one way of climate smart agriculture according to me, because these people have not harmed the environment in any way. The water has just come flowing, and people have made a kind of a belt where they've partitioned, and there's a way they just allow water into their farms. There's no need of digging dams or drilling boreholes. You don't need to do all these things, like put the drip lines, and it's just an expensive way of doing agriculture. I don't know, Samuel, were you able to follow through the video? What's your take on the video?
Okay, although I never had the voice. There was no voice on my end, but I'm trying to think of what Jackie is trying to bring on the table, I think, and okay, okay, let me clarify, or I'll try to explain what I think Jackie, or the point that Jackie wants to bring home. I tend to think that
chunga usijiume ulimi trying to tell us what Jackie is trying to say. If you're not doing irrigation, we cannot produce food.
Okay. I'll have to first of all ask Jackie a question before I try to say what I understand what she means. So Jackie, so do you want to mean that are you against now the irrigation farming, or you want to say that we are not supposed to have irrigation farming, or we are supposed to depend on the rainfed? First of all, answer me that question.
Is bad. What I'm saying is the practices
yes.
that the farmers are going are putting on their farm farms or employing on their farms is what is harming our environment, which is also which is bringing the effects that you're currently experiencing on the climate. And that's why I'm insisting, we don't really need to rely on them, but we should preserve and conserve the water that we get from the little rain that falls. And I wish I would have invited Bishop Masika.
And actually, thank you, Jackie, for joining the team. And actually, thank you for coming on our end. Because you just
it is just a matter of time.
Yeah. Of
which
you just said
it. Jackie, is this. Do you buy food from irrigation farmers? Do you? Yes.
Irrigation farmers.
Do you buy?
No, me, I just buy food. I don't know whether it has been irrigated or it is an open field.
Kitengela has not been raining.
So, Jackie, I think one thing that Jackie needs to understand why we are all against this team is because for one, Jackie I think Jackie is looking the matter on the long term part of it, because she's trying to come up with the idea that we are the cause of the shortage of the rain, maybe by way of our practices like cutting down of trees. Okay, there are so many things as human we are doing to interfere with the availability of rain. But now, Jackie, I want to tell you, in as much as there is no interference, or there is interference, Jackie, there is no way we can depend on rain-fed production of food. Reason being, like right now, the rains are starting at this time as we talk. Most part of Kenya is experiencing rain as we talk, and it is rain that has not been there for quite a long time. So now, do you want to mean that for that time that there has been no rain, that farmers now should be waiting for it to come so that they start the farming? So that is something I'm still not agreeing with you. So there is no way we can actually depend on rain-fed production of food. We have to also adopt the idea of irrigation, because that is what will ensure that there is food in the shelves every time. Because if we depend, yes.
What you've said is very good. In fact, tuma bill, pale huko tuma bill. Now, tell us one thing, because it's something that is really affecting farmers. There's this greenhouses, which I think that is one of the things that you do, as well as
yes.
Shed nets and what is it called? There's shed nets, the insect nets, and there's the greenhouses. Which one applies where? Because we are talking about climate smart agriculture. Mambo ya maji tuachie Jackie. When it comes to controlled sunlight, because we can imagine like Kajiado has been really hot. Do we need a greenhouse? Do we need a shed net? Do we need an insect net? Which is the best that can and cost effective, obviously?
So yes, so now when you talk about like you talked about the climate smart farming, one thing is that say it a greenhouse, say it use of shade net, it will depend on the specific location. Like you'll find out that there are places that they are so that is so hot to a point that you cannot produce food very well, or in a manner that will bring profit. So that's why you come up with the idea of now installing a shade net. So these structures also come based on the location they are to be installed. Go to places like very cold places. Those cold places, that is when now you come up with the idea of now installing a greenhouse. Because why? A greenhouse is a controlled environment for farming that is against the environmental factor. You see. So if it talk of shade net are used to control the temperatures where the temperatures, or in areas where temperatures are very high. Like in Ukambani, you'll find out that there are specific crops that will not grow in Ukambani because of the high temperatures. So now that's why you come up with the idea of shade nets. Now that is to control the environment and you can still produce. Say it of a greenhouse. A greenhouse will also do well in places like Ukambani, but under controlled conditions. Like you find out that a greenhouse, like the one I'm in right now, I'm in a place called Roy, that is Kamuru. So here, definitely Kamuru is one of the, it's a hot place. So, and when I was installing these greenhouses, I had to make sure that the greenhouse is the top is the cover, and then the side I put a lot of net so that there is free circulation of air to control the temperatures, because this place is very hot. Now that is for to make sure that my crops are growing well. So greenhouse and or shade net is a controlled environment for growing crops.
So let me ask you,
depending on the climate that are in the specific place.
Considering now we're talking about irrigation, how is that controlled, the shading and all that affects the water that is, I mean, probably the amount of water, probably the quality of water. How does one growing crops under shed help reduce some of those costs or effectiveness of the sun?
Definitely. When you talk about growing crops in a greenhouse, the reason for greenhouse, like I've said, is it brings a controlled environment for growing crops. In a greenhouse, to be specific, you'll find out that because of the controlled environment, there is no direct sunlight. So what does that mean? It will reduce the evaporation of water that you've watered your crops. Unlike the open field or where there is direct sunlight that is hitting your soil, hence causing a lot of evaporation. So definitely in a greenhouse, you'll find out that there is less usage of water.
Interesting. We've seen that sometimes we're talking about greenhouse gases, and we are talking about constructing greenhouses. What is greenhouse gases and what is greenhouse? Is it the same thing?
Greenhouses gases and
the greenhouses is the greenhouse, the gas inside the greenhouse gases that is affecting the environment, or that's a totally different thing?
I think that's a total. There's a very big difference when you talk about the greenhouse gases, because I tend to think the air that is inside the greenhouse is almost the same as the one that is outside. So there's no because when we are constructing a greenhouse, of course, a greenhouse is not a fully enclosed structure. We have nets to allow free circulation of air, yeah, but at a controlled measures. That is where now you come to the idea of putting a net on the side, so that the air that is inside is controlled. And so when you talk about gases, I tend to think the gas that is inside the greenhouse is just the same as that is on the open field, because what you have is that the air in the greenhouse is controlled. And how is it controlled? There is no you see outside the air is freely moving, but here in the greenhouse, so the air that is in the greenhouse is moving slowly and entering also soil.
So my question comes now is, why is it called a greenhouse and it is white? Anyway.
Interesting.
So let me ask you another question, because I've had greenhouses in one of my farms and ilibebwa na upepo kabisa. Sasa niko na chuma nauza, so hiyo hata tutaongea baadaye.
Probably some, as we conclude our interview, probably tell us what crops are you growing? Are you only on doing greenhouse or in open field? And if someone wants to reach you, where can you be found?
Okay, thank you very much, Jackie. Inside this greenhouse, you'll be able to find out I'm doing capsicum. That is commonly known as hoho. That is what I'm doing here. And let me show you. Let me show you so that everybody will be able to see. This is capsicum. That is what I'm doing in my greenhouse. And this is carrot capsicum. This is the yellow variety. And on the other side, I have the red variety. But you'll see that it's now green because it's not fully it has not fully matured for the same. So I'm doing capsicum, the carrot capsicum, in a greenhouse. Outside there on the open field, I have the green capsicum, and I also have tomatoes. I also have another greenhouse on the other end for tomatoes also, and I'm also having onion production in the same area. because this is in my capacity. This is what we call the urban farming. Actually, that is what I'm practicing. Here we are practicing urban farming because we are in Nairobi, but are doing farming as well. Yes.
Okay. Just continue. Let's see. Let's ask the director to be able to just put the image up, and you can explain to us more as we see. So what we've seen many farmers growing capsicum, tomatoes, and all that. What is the significance of how do you start growing capsicum? And they're very, very huge, we can see. How do you start growing this capsicum versus whatever you are choosing to grow?
Definitely. In agriculture, before you venture into any farming, there are two or three very important things that you need to check before you get into the business. One of them is that you need to look so much on the marketing. Like for myself, I usually find market even before I start farming. That is one of the core or a key important thing when I'm deciding on what crop to grow and at what time. So the first thing is the market. You have the market for your crop before you grow. So the other thing is, how are you going to produce the crops? So that is where now you come to the decision part of it. Of now, do I do it in the open field production, or do I do it in a greenhouse? And this is also a determinant, because like you've seen this variety of the carrot crops not do well in open field. So you see, you have to make a decision on installing greenhouse for the same, because it will not do well in the open field. So maybe before you another thing is that you'll find out that before you also come into agriculture, you also have to have the capital. Do you have the capital to start farming? That is another question. So those two things are very important before you start any substantial agriculture. Back to you, Nasiari.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably Sam, I would want to ask you, how much water is required in a greenhouse from planting to the time you start harvesting?
Probably I may not be able to know but I can tell you for a day, how much do you need for a day for a greenhouse? Maybe in a greenhouse like this one is measuring 8 by 30. That is 8 meters by 30 meters, and here we have around 1500 plants, and the amount of water that we use here, we are using a borehole, the one that Jackie is against, and and maybe per day, well, of course, you have the drips installed on each crops. That is to supply the water. And to be honest, we use less water compared to anything that Jackie will bring on the table today. So here we have, yes, sure. We are using it's very economical. Like I can tell you that we have a 10,000 liter tank in the farm. And maybe for a greenhouse, I've not done that calculation, but I can tell you we are using less than 100 liters
a day
for the greenhouse alone. Yes, a day. And you will only open the taps for about 5 minutes, and then you close the taps. And the whole thing is
to make sure that the drips are not blocked. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And you will find out that we are using very less water. And this is not Rainfed, Jackie. So,
Abba, you tell her it is Rainfed, but has been stored.
Yes.
Samuel, I'm counting you down. You're going out in the next 5 seconds. So probably give us your closing remarks before I unmute you.
And we want to come and see you. We want to come and visit you sometime next week just to see more. Niko na kafuroti pale hapo Bala.
Please you're very welcome here in the farm. I'll probably you'll learn a lot from the same, because we are doing like I've told you, we are doing urban farming, which is one of like you've talked about the the smart farming. This is urban farming. Yes, this is urban farming and doing very well. So anytime you're free, just visit me and I'll be very happy to take you to the farm.
Jackie, thank you so much for making time to join us in today's edition. Yeah. Probably your closing remarks on the transformation from rain-fed agriculture to irrigated agriculture. What is your advice as an agronomist who is dealing with farmers in ASAL regions? What can you tell them?
Okay, first of all, is to look on the matter like Jackie wanted to bring it on the today's discussion. That we also need to look the matter on long-term point of it. That is, I would advise farmers to plant more trees so that we have enough land. As in, I would advise farmers to strictly care for the environment so that we don't experience this problem of shortages of water. The other thing is that in as much as we are protecting, definitely lane is not something that we have control of. It's only God who knows when it will lane or when it will not lane. So we also have to play our cards well on both sides. Like we cannot also so much depend on the growing crops on lane fed. We also need to have or adopt the new ideas or the new method of the modern farming technology, like the greenhouses and the construction of dams, so that we collect enough water when there's rain. We collect enough water that will take us in that time that we don't have the rain-fed water. So that will be also another way that we can be able to have substantial farming. And I also urge the farmers that we should be free and willing to adopt this new modern farming. That is maybe greenhouse, drip irrigation system, because that is one of the things that Nasiali has talked about, smart farming. With a drip irrigation at your farm, it's actually a smart farming by the name, because crops are growing when there is rain. When there is not, you're producing, and we will be able to beat this challenge of the food shortages.
Well said.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Samuel. As Noah has said, we'll be visiting your farm probably sometime next week to just see the kinds of crops that you grow. I'm really interested in the colored capsicum. I've never tasted the yellow ones.
And also to see the irrigation you're using.
No, I don't. I don't want the irrigation. I'm against the irrigation. Today, guy,
I'll definitely show her. Irrigation. Can I show you?
Yes.
Yes, please. Jackie, you should see this.
Let's end the show.
No, let's wait and see irrigation.
So this is drip irrigation.
Sam is showing us. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that nature has taken its course. Nature has taken its course.
Sure.
And
It's not nature that has taken its course. It's people who are forcing nature to take its course.
Jackie. So now this is one of our irrigation system. This is drip irrigation system, and as you can see, we are growing tomatoes. And by the way, these tomatoes has been growing when there was that hot climate. So that is what Nasiari is calling the smart farming. And it has been we've been able to grow these crops because of the irrigation or irrigation water that we are using here. As you can see, this is a man-made borehole. This is where we get our water from. So Jackie, this is what you are against. Maybe you this is our borehole. This is where we source our water. And definitely we had to do this because, like I've said, we are doing it in the urban. So where could we have sourced cheap water for our farming? You see, sometimes it can be very expensive to obtain water for farming from these watering companies or the kanjos. So definitely that's where we came up with the idea of installing this structure or this thing that Jackie is against. So, and we are doing very well. As you can see,
Let me ask
Yeah,
you, what
so
is your yield? How much water do you have per day from the bore? Do you supply other people around, or is just for your consumption only?
it's just for our consumption, for the farm consumption. We don't supply. This is a
And do you
tank.
get to harvest water using the greenhouses, or you know, Peter?
Actually, I'm thinking of that because these greenhouses are new,
Okay.
as you can see, and the next thing that I want to put up is a way I can be able to harvest this water, because as you can see today, the rain that has lain today, see this water that has been it just went down, and if I will be able to collect that, it will be also be an advantage to me, because I'll have enough water stored in the farm, and maybe I can be able to not so much rely on what Jackie is against, that is the borehole. You see, I don't want to be. I also want to be on the Jackie's side, because actually she's the one who invited me for the interview.
Anaweza kukutoa.
Sasa kumufinya sana. Sema atasema nilimfinya sana. Yes, I'm very happy for you guys.
Haujawacha namba yako hapo, how people can get in touch with you, or you can share a flyer we can put in the comment section.
Yes, or maybe I can in the meantime I can give my handles. My number is 0706 654 483. I'm also on Facebook, agronomist Sam Mwangi. Like I said earlier, I have a company, an online company called Samtech Agribusiness Solutions. It is also on Facebook. You'll be able to find the page there.
Just
Maybe
repeat the name
interact.
again.
And my number is 0706 654 483.
Shukran sana Samuel Mwangi, the agronomist, for joining us in today's edition, for being against me and for ganging up with Noah. So the next time you look for Noah and you practice the irrigation together. Me, I'm for all rain-fed agriculture. Thank you so much, Sam. We'll be touching base. This is how we talk. At the end of the day, there's some information that farmers have gathered, whether it was on rain-fed agriculture, climate smart, planting trees, even the greenhouse. There's something that people have learned from today's show. So thank you so much for making time to join us.
Yes. So Sam, just one last bit. We are having COP27 in the next few days. What is your message to the world about COP27, about climate and farming? It looks like Sam is out. Okay.
Yeah, he is disconnected.
Yes.
We will be getting Sam to give us his comments, but Noah, there's this campaign that is coming through.
Let's pay some bills. I can see some bill owners have come here.
Okay, so let's.
I think Sam is back.
So Sally, there was a technical error on my side.
Okay, so I was asking, we are having COP27 in Egypt in the next few days. What is your message to the world, to the global leaders, to the Kenyan leaders about climate change and how it's affecting agriculture, especially young people? Because we know young people want something that they can do and make money quickly. What is your message as we sit in COP27 next week?
My message is that if you look at the current situation of our climate, especially in Africa, or to be specific in Kenya, it is a climate that is so much wanting. It is a climate that actually, if we don't get things done in another way or in a new way, it will definitely assure we shall definitely be assured that there will be more increase in food shortages, and hence there is the need to adopt to the new ideas on farming, so that at least we try to have or to control these challenges of food shortages. The other thing is on the youth is that definitely, like you said, there's nothing that come easy. There's nothing that will ever come easy, especially if anybody who thinks that farming is just something that will come in today and then you make money the next minute. Definitely that's long, especially that is what most of us, the youth, want. Like definitely as a young youth, I would be so much glad to have something that will make a billionaire in the next in the next 2 days.
Hey,
But
that is a very long message, Sam.
yes,
That's a very long message. But thank you very much, Sam. Thank you for having spare time. So ambie mgeni wako kwa heri bana.
I'm saying Nasia.
Thank you, mgeni. Anyway, Sam, thank you so much for making time. I will still keep in touch with you because there's this show we usually have on Ask the Experts, and jua daktari wako wa udongo, wa mimea, wa wanyama. So we'll be getting in touch with you so that you can educate our farmers on how to grow capsicum, how to grow tomatoes, how to grow onions, the best practices. Like you're saying, irrigation is the best. You use very minimal water, but you still destroy the environment. So we'll be getting in touch with you, and let's keep in touch.
So thank you very much, Jackie, and I'm very sorry for today. I think today I've been so much.
No,
But,
it's okay. We cannot always be on the same page.
Thank you very much.
It's called combing each other. Umemchanua leo
Yes,
kidogo.
So thank you very much, and have a good evening.
So let's we'll be taking a short commercial break and pay some bills. When you come back, we'll continue this discussion on rain-fed agriculture. So keep watching Farmers Media. We'll be back shortly.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club and by extension African Farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, you know. And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of Farmers Media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
And welcome back to the Evening Farm Drive. The show today has been fire. 3 men against 1 woman, but I still won. Nani kama mimi?
Simama tuone. Simama tuone.
But we say it was not really a show on climate and do whatever you did when it was Jackie's show.
It was actually a salon show. Yani we combed you. Tumekuchanua yani.
Oh my God.
Today we will talk about this. It's called a light. But it's not just a light, it's solar. Jackie, you know, this thing is very interesting. It's called Family Sunshine from Total Energies. This thing can charge your phone. You can imagine we're in studio in this light, but you can still see it bright. What I like about this thing is the way you can hang it like that. You can hang it like that. You can put it on the table. Like mama ukaa kwa giza uachana sasa. And yes, and it's the festive season, so try when you pass through any Total Energies petrol station, make sure you ask for Family Sunshine and you get one for yourself and for your loved ones, home and away. Kama unajua hii kitu kama unaenda kupeleka mahari ni points unascore.
Inaweza kuwa bonga point.
Mingi sana.
No, but it's another advantage. They have never seen this. Yeah. And actually, you know,
and it's clean energy, by the way.
And some point it's not polluting the environment.
No, this is what we want. This is where we want to go. Like,
Lakini Jackie atasema ati hii material plastic pale inatengenezwa inatoa moshi. Lakini Jackie,
how do you
complicate life?
No, how do you recycle? How do you recycle these things? Like, once this, does it even get spoiled?
Me, I've already paid the bill.
Leo, hey, ladies, where you at? Farm girls, I need you people to come and save me from this gentleman trying to convince us that CG irrigation, those things are harmful to the environment. Do things the right way, the smart way, and I trust you me, believe you me, we will not have these effects of climate. You will not have these weather conditions. You will be having the rain patterns that we used to have, kitambo, the short rains and the long rains, and all of us will be having healthy meals, will be food secure. But no.
Where Jackie comes from.
No.
There's a lot of rain. Kuna mvua mingi. Lakini I still wonder they still come and stay in Syokimau, in Kitengela. So I don't understand what is the reason.
But you know, one impact of rain, as we were as we used to learn when we were young, and no when we were growing up, we used to be told that when you rained on, there's some effect that happens on your body. Now this person who loves rain, I wonder.
I did not see that coming.
I'm speaking and my microphone is also because I don't want you guys to continue talking. We're having a campaign, Farm With Us, looking for 12 great youthful young farmers to walk the journey with them on the various farming practices. The lines are still on. You can send in your applications, call the numbers on the screen to find out more. I don't know. No, I'll just give you like 1 minute, but just talk about the Farm With Us campaign. These other things, by the way, I'll just use this microphone. I'm on Twitter and it's to director. 1 minute. No, you know, in journalism, when you're interviewing someone, you want the microphone for them.
As I'll say, I'll just tell them to see that poster. Yeah, so if you can see the poster on your screen right now, it is a campaign that we are doing right now. We are doing a campaign that we want 12 young people. It does not, you don't have to be very young, but at least young people to be able to get access to things that they don't get access to frequently, easily, things like water, irrigation, water, then there's free land, there's inputs. What we need is your support in terms of your presence in the farm, in the farm or on the farm.
On the farm.
Yeah, on the farm. In pia ndani hapo. Yes.
And your time.
Yes, and a lot of your time. We do not want telephone farming. So what you will do is that keep on calling the number there, 07 00 29 30 31. But also we'll be sharing a form that you will fill that will give us more details about yourself, who you are, what do you do, why do you want to be part of this campaign. And then we will have a selection and we will share that out and select 12 of you this season, starting probably December all the way to May next year.
We need to mention that this campaign is totally free. Don't accept to be duped. All the information will be coming from all our social media handles. That's our Farmers Media. And that's the only number that we are using to communicate. Probably you can repeat the number so that people can...
0700 29 30 31. Na hakuna sadaka, hakuna mchango, hakuna nini. Najua watu wa kanisa wameanza kucheka. Yes, so you will not be asked for even a single cent. Just your presence, your time.
There was one question that we had during our show, and someone was asking, is there a particular kind of crop that the farmers will be focusing on? Or there was also another question on the climatic conditions, because I think in the questionnaire there is the kind of crops they want to grow.
Yes, so we will be able to have on the form that you get, there'll be specific crops, so you need to select which of the crops you are planning, you would like to grow. For obvious reasons, we are looking at crops that are easily accessible to the market, good returns as well, but most importantly, good agricultural practices, what we're looking at. And yes, you'll be getting more information.
The last question was, can people join the campaign as a group or as a team, or must it be one person?
Very interesting. Convince us why you need to join as a team, but we'll select one. So we want 12 different people. You can imagine having a group of 12 people. So we want at least 12 different people. If you want to join as a group and say every week one of you will be visiting, but we will set out, the form has the criteria and all the rules of engagement.
So yeah, there you have it. Where can the form be downloaded? On our website?
On our social media handles. We'll be uploading it in the next few hours.
There you have it. Are you interested in farming? Have you ever, have you ever farmed?
Yeah, I have. Atiangalia nini?
You know, everybody coming from Mumia says he's a farmer because it's sugar cane. Muranga, we have tea. Sisi, we're tea farmers.
Okay. I want to part short with some comment here from Joyfrey Kipkirui, who actually supports Jackie. but not in that very positive way that she thinks. And he's saying, looks like we have floods.
Yes.
Yeah, looks like we have floods. Yeah, I am.
She answered that. Looks like we have floods. and other stories.
Yeah. It looks like we have floods. Floods.
And other stories.
Well, the show has been great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me and making time to be in today's edition. I've learned a lot about irrigation. The gentlemen have tried to convince me, but I'm inconvincible. I'm unconvincible.
Is that the reason why you're still single?
I'm not single. That has been the Evening Farm Drive with me, Jackie Mo. Your name. This guy's the one to end the show.
Yeah. And actually, don't forget to go for your cape. I'm Kama Mwangi.
And I'm one and only know how to sell Kadiba.
Jackie Mo, goodbye. See you tomorrow, 3 to 5. Bye.